Hello and welcome to BNN's Player Feature Series. I'm Solson Cheeve, and today our guest is Brave FC Phear Vyna. Welcome to the show, Phear.
Thank you for having me.
So I know that one of your roles in Brave is acting as an FC, but are there any other things that you do for Brave?
Not really. As far as space jobs go, I'm only an FC, although there are sometimes I update things like the jump bridge bookmarks because it's annoying when you have a fleet out and they don't know where the jump bridge is because it hasn't been updated, or I updated the Osprey fittings for the Corp, but that's an FC thing, an extension of that. But outside of that, not really. FCing's my bread and butter.
So what was it that triggered you to want to become an FC?
Uh, well, my third day in Brave, I was bored, and the previous day I was, being eyes on a Tal War roam, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, "Hey, want to go roaming?" Response comes back from Fleet, "Hey, you want to be the FC?" I'm like, "I can't be the FC. I don't know what I'm doing." And they said, "It doesn't matter. Just go and do it." So I did, and I had a lot of enjoyment on that T1 frigate roam that ended up whelping to I'm gonna probably some sort of kitey bullshit. I remember, my first like Tau War roam, like as a non FC who just was taking out fleets. We literally died to a single piece of kitey bullshit because I didn't know what that was at the time. Uh, but it basically is um it basically was I thought it was really cool, like, when I was given the opportunity to do it, literally my 3rd day in Brave, and I'm just like, "I'm just gonna roll with it, it's fun." And that's where how I got where I am today.
So was that your third day in Eve overall, or was that just your third day in Brave?
That would technically be my 4th day in EVE overall, I would say. I made the account in December of 2016. But didn't do anything with the character. I was one of those people who like hopped on as an alpha clone, was like, "Oh man, this will be awesome," and then immediately was not impressed, and it's like, "Okay, whatever, I'll leave. It's free or it's whatever." But one of my friends, who I met through playing League of Legends, was like, "Hey man, I play Eve. You should totally play as well." Um, a little bit down the road, so I went and said, "Fine, I'll give this another shot." And joined his high sec mining op for a total of 2 days while I was waiting for my Brave Newbies application to go through. And once my Brave Newbies application went through, because he recommended me to you guys, uh, or he recommended that I applied to you guys. Well, you guys, Brave, us. Uh, I'm like, okay. So then I bowed out to nullsec, and then that's where I am. So effectively, it was my 4th or 5th day playing Eve, even though the account's a little bit older than that.
Gotcha. So you jumped in feet first, and now you've been doing it for a while. So what are the expectations that are placed upon you as a Brave FC?
There's a particular rat to lat quote that is specifically for strat ops. It's 3 words, and it is the most important 3 words ever spoken to any Brave FC or coalition wide FC, even though I don't do coalition fleets. Those 3 words are just don't feed. So that's basically it. For strat ops, the point is get the objective done, make sure you don't feed living hell out of the enemy. If you're flying a bunch of canes in and then you see Red Alliance Feroxes sinoing in, you want to get the fuck off fort, off the grid, even if it means losing the reinforcement timer. It means that your canes are going to be around to fly another day. So that's kind of like the main responsibility as far as strat ops go, is make sure the objective gets done, make sure your fleet gets home safe. Um, when it comes to fun fleets, the expectation is that people enjoy your fleets, whether you're being entertaining as a person, whether or not you're 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 just getting dank frags all the time. The expectation is you're gonna be in a position where for a little bit of time, an hour or two, you're trying to make sure that people are having fun while playing the game, and that's what I do as part of a fun fleet. That's what a lot of FCs try to do as part of fun fleet is, you know, strat ops are sometimes boring. Bashes are a lot of the times extremely boring unless there's actual something else on grid. So fun fleets are where people just go out and have a good time. Uh, last night took a roam up to Horde space because of the wormhole connection. We ended up whelping a Caracal fleet into a moderately sized Horde fleet, but it wasn't necessarily a whelp because you know, no one was really mad because first of all we got a hell dropped on us, and that's really fun to fight, and then on top of that we have Caracal. On top of that, even though we died, we killed some of their shit. It was still a good fight. So, strat ops get the objective done, don't feed. Fun fleets get good fight, keep people entertained. That's basically it.
And so then what's the favorite fleet you've ever led, if you can recall it?
So I think it's in my character bio actually. Before I got my FC tags, it was like a couple days before I officially got the tags. So I had just applied, I believe. Um, there was a horde gang that came into GE as I was taking out a Tau War fleet. Now I loved taking out Tau Wars because they were cheap, they were inexpensive. You could fly them, you can hit people from 70 kilometers away, and it just fun to fly. Well, we killed these horde dudes about 1-to-1, Corms versus Tau. And then I see in local Doom Chinchilla. Now, I'm like, wait a second. So he literally gates or he's jumping through the 3 Techo gate, and we're like on this gate because we jumped back from 3 Techo. So he cross jumped us, and I'm like, okay, we can leave him in his VNI or whatever. I don't want to get Sino baited. But then another PL dude comes through with. And so a couple of my fleet members who just wanted to see Doom die jumped in and got some miracle tackle on him, and so we just all like piled into 3 Taco and killed Doom Chinchilla and his buddy in a VNI. And I'm like, oh man, Doom Chinchilla corpse, that's amazing. And then up the pipe into Impact, I forget if it was AX Dot or if it was like Mux or something like that, 2 battleships were spotted. So we go up that way, and grant you, people have upshipped because they wanted to kill Doom Chinchilla so much. I had T3Ds and a couple other like cruisers that I didn't ask for in this fleet, but we had all this DPS, and then we just killed 2 battleships. And I just remember that fleet was so much fun. I was laughing the whole time because it was so crazy and so hectic. But in the end, we got so many dank frags and a Doom Chinchilla corpse. So that's always fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just smiling listening to you tell the story. I kind of wish I was on I was in that fleet. That sounds like a great time. Okay, so then you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but so in terms of the fleet members who are in fleets that you're FCing, what do you look for in them in order for the fleet to be successful, or even just to make sure that it's fun?
I mean, there are certain people in Brave that when they're online, I try to get them into my phone fleets because they're really entertaining in and of themselves, and I enjoy talking to them. They enjoy talking to the other people. And I don't know, they might say some really crazy, stupid stuff at times, but it's still that's what makes those fun fleets interesting. For strat ops, what really matters is that people understand the role that they're playing in a way that makes it so everyone gets along proper. So, like in a Kane's, I need to make sure that the person who's in charge of Logi, and all my T2 Logi pilots and some of my T1 Logi pilots are very good about getting those reps landing and paying attention to all the broadcasts. Um, and on the same side with my DPS pilots, I have to make sure that they are broadcasting early because that's how they're going to get saved. I don't want them to die. They don't want them to die. If they broadcast early, then they have a lower chance of dying, and that means that they can press on and keep fighting. On top of that, I um there are a few good Dictor pilots in Brave that I absolutely love seeing in my fleet because they are very good at what they do as far as Dictors go. So I love it when I have people, specifically tackle specialists, in my fleet who know what they're doing, because that makes things so much nicer and so much cleaner when we're fighting things that we don't want to get away because we're winning. So that's kind of the thing. DPS, make sure you're broadcasting early and following broadcasts and cycling your gun. Logi, make sure that you're uh, looking at your broadcasts and being very quick to lock up and begin repping. And Dictor pilots and fast tackle, just I love Dictor pilots and fast tackle who are just very good at their job. Um, and upon other than that, it's really just do your role and it works. So long as I don't mess up.
So, can you share any flat out failures that you've had, and maybe some lessons that you've learned from those failures?
My first strat op as a Brave FC was to bash the now Brave but formerly the Bastard Cartel Citadel that was in NTEC C or NCREL, which is up the impasse pipe and an independent. And this was my first fleet as FC, or like as an FC tag, as a strat op. But on top of that, my computer had been busted for a whole month prior, so I was like really rusty on things. And I remember a couple things that were wrong. First, I was anchoring in a DPS ship. I was anchoring in a cane, no probes, no boosts, no nothing. Second of all, we didn't have enough canes. We had enough canes to like keep the timer going and do damage, but we weren't hitting damage cap because I wasn't 100% aware of all the Citadel mechanics at the time. We didn't have enough logi. Basically, we undocked without having enough, and that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was being indecisive once we saw that TBC was trying to fight back. I saw a couple dudes in local and were like, and they complimented me, they're like, we have a nip. And I'm like, no, we don't. Let me check with Motre. During that time, I wasn't paying very much attention to what was going on around. I didn't have eyes everywhere. That was another thing that I made a mistake about. So I had no idea what was going on. And then VNI comes in on grid and we shoot it, but not before it lights sign out. So all of a sudden there are Hodreds on grid. And I thought, these are Hodreds, I'm just going to get the fuck off. So we got off grid. And I was just, waiting. I was pinging Motre being like, okay, what should I do? And I made the mistake, and I'm not doing this ever again, of FCing from DPS comms. And I heard one guy in DPS comms, first of all, a bunch of dudes in DPS comms wanted to drop dreads and carriers. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I will not FC caps. I will not manage caps. That's not my place to do it. And the other thing that I should not have listened to, because I wasn't listening to the guys wanting was this guy's like, we have enough DPS to take this dread. We should be able to, just do it. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Not thinking, because my DPS comms start like a lot more people are like, hey, yeah, we could take. So we warp in and we whelp because it's a hot hit dread. We're not gonna outdo those guns because those guns are specifically made to kill subcat. So in the end, it turned into, I whelp half my Cane's fleet on my first ever strata, and I feel so bad about it. But the things that I learned from it are kind of things that I've been trying to, carry with myself to this day. One, have eyes everywhere. Make use of the recon dudes. Two, make sure you have probes and boosts you're FCing from the appropriate ship for the job. And make sure you have the right fleet composition when you undock. When we undocked, I'm like, we probably don't have enough, but it'll be fine. This is going to be uncontested anyway. It doesn't matter that we have too few canes and not enough logi because, it'll be fine. not making that mistake again. I'm not gonna undock for a bash without enough cans. I'm not gonna undock for anything without enough logic. Because in the event that you do get into a fight, even if you're expecting no contest, you need to have everything on grid that you need for a full fight. And I didn't have that, and that was probably my biggest mistake there. And I haven't whelped a strat up since, so I guess it's been working.
So if somebody wanted to become an FC, what is the process?
The current pipeline to becoming an FC is literally just lead fleets, and we'll take note and then apply directly to Motre. However, that is actually changing in the coming weeks. We have a plan. We have a plan for FC training and a bunch of other stuff. The bigger issue, or the bigger thing right now, is that we have to wait on some stuff from the IT dudes to be ready. So for now, I would not say that the way I became an FC is the way that you'll become an FC in the future. What I will say is, in the next military update, there should be a thing about it. And if you're interested in FCing, it will be a lot more easy to get access to the tools that you need. But basically, have an interest, speak up, lead fleets. That's what it all boils down to, regardless of how the application process changes.
Okay, and a final question for our guest Fear Vyna today, and that is, where do you see yourself in a year or two in the game in Eve?
Hopefully leading bigger and better fleets. Hopefully leading Brave through to another glory day, another golden period. I love this game. I love Brave. I love the people in Brave that I fight with, and I would not leave Brave uh, unless the situation was so dire that I don't think I would be able to have anything with it. But all things considered, I see 2 years down the line, I'm leading Brave through the fleets that will, be part of that second glory days. I want Brave to be huge and memorable, and everybody to walk away from Brave, even if they go to a different alliance, thinking, "Man, this was a great time." And that's kind of like where I want to be. Is I want to be the guy who people are like, "Man, he was so great. I loved being on his fleet." That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I'm gonna try to do in the next 2 years.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for the time you've spent with us today, and we really appreciate you being with us, Brave FC Fear Vyna, and that is all for now.